we find the answers to life after death? And what do we do with the answers when we actually find them?
Real Paranormal Television.
With your host, Grayson Schmidt.
I've been an investigator and researcher of the paranormal for over 25 years, and I've been able to investigate some amazing places. But it's not just the places. I've been able to work with some amazing people too. We seek out the answers and get behind the scenes of real paranormal investigations. From orbs to Ouija boards, we will be discussing the hot topics of the paranormal world to try to find out the truth, to explore why we are here, and where do we go when we die. Is this all? Or do we move on to somewhere else? Just what exactly lies beyond this thin veil of life?
Real Paranormal Television.
Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Real Paranormal Television. I really appreciate that you guys have stayed, supported, have participated in the show, and have given me your full support and so much positivity. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It makes doing this show worth it, because I don't do this for fame and fortune. I could care less about that. I do this for you, for my friends, for my peers in the paranormal community. Hopefully this will be a benefit to you. Hopefully you can use some of the information that we share here, and hopefully you can be a part of the project as well. I always seek to interview and to talk to some of the best in the paranormal community. The people that you've seen on the show so far, you well know, are top quality, top-notch investigators or are affiliated with the paranormal to some extent to a helpful degree. And that matters. We're putting our time and efforts into this for free. We go and investigate for free. And we take all the money out of our pockets for the devices and the equipment that we use in the paranormal field. Now, it's really hard to help people to understand really what's involved with paranormal investigating unless you've really taken an investigation from the very beginning to the very end to really fully understand the amount of time, the total combined linear hours that it takes by every investigator on the team, and especially by the founder of the team, who then takes all of that accumulated information, sifts through it, holds meetings, takes time editing and going over and mulling over the data that's captured in order to present that evidence to a client. You have to take into consideration that these people are spending a ton of their personal time to do this. That makes a huge difference. Because what it does is it allows the people that are having experiences with the paranormal get a truly in-depth understanding of what's going on in their environment to a certain extent. And I say that with some trepidation, because a lot of teams are fantastic teams, taking nothing away from that. You do due diligence, you scrutinize your own evidence, you mull through the data very carefully, you meet and discuss the findings and come to some kind of conclusion regarding that data capture and to actually call it evidence, then to present it to the client. But it's really on another level that you have to understand the liability, the reputation, and all that goes into being a founder and an operator of a paranormal group. You don't get paid to do it. It takes time away from your friends and family. But it's done by people with a really unique passion and a real sense of organization. Now, a lot of those groups out there can only take it to the level of the area or to the level of expertise that's available on their team. So different teams take their findings, their data collection, to a different level. Now, what I mean by that is that everybody out in the field is not one trained from one school, put into a box, thrown onto a shelf investigator. Everybody brings something unique to the table. We have people from IT, information technologies, from the trades, from office positions, from sales positions, from clerk positions. that run and found teams. And their dedication and commitment to bring the truth to their clients is really just bar none excellent. And it's amazing that these people are willing to take their time to train others who have probably no experience in the paranormal world, which is okay to some extent also, because then you can be trained the correct way. However, there are teams out there that are going about this the wrong way. They're fame whores. They're looking for, some kind of recognition out there, for some kind of merit to their findings. They have the best EVP, they have the best picture and all that, and that's just garbage, okay? To be realistic, you have to put all of your ego on the shelf, to the side, by the door when you go on an investigation. Now, what I'm getting at is that when we're out there in the field, we're out there to represent our clients, we're out there to represent our team, and we're also able to bring a certain level of expertise to the table so that people can get answers for their claims of activity. Now, most of the claims, and you guys know as well as I do, are normal, everyday things going on that can be readily explained with the devices that we used in our field. Now, David Roundtree, a friend of mine, had said once that there's no button on this device to switch it from normal to paranormal, and I fully agree with that. So what we have to do is to utilize the equipment that was devised and made for normal terrestrial understanding, meaning that these are, test devices and or pieces of equipment that are used by our peers in the field to acquire data via readings, via gauges, via pictures or recordings. And these devices all deal with really physical properties within our environment. None of the devices that are out there in the field really have a paranormal switch on them to understand that at that moment you are actually dealing with something paranormal. This is why I really approach investigating on a multifaceted level. I approach it not only to the point of understanding the environment and trying to really find out the trends that evolve out of the data collection in that environment, but also about the investigator themselves, about the physiology, about the brainwave frequency of the investigator themselves dealing with something paranormal within that environment, whether they be sensitive or not. And that makes a big difference. We're going to cover a lot more of that type of thing on later episodes. This episode, we're going to focus on my friends that are running teams internationally. I have been so fortunate to make some great friends, not only here in the States, but all the way around the world. So this episode, I'm going to be bringing you some really cool insight from our international friends in the paranormal community who are part of our greater community. They're all one and the same. We're all denizens on this planet. We're all trapped here. We're all part of what's going on here, and we can all make a difference, especially within our paranormal community. The first interview is with a good friend of mine, William Tabone. He is the founder and owner-operator of the Australian Paranormal Society. What a cool guy. Bill and I have served on the board of directors together for an international organization, and he's been a good friend of mine for a few years, and we just have a blast. He's one of the nicest people that I know. He goes through struggles just like we do, and they just happen to do it in Australia, which is pretty cool. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about his experiences in the paranormal in Australia, and to give you a little bit of his insight as to what his understanding of the paranormal actually is. Thank you so much for watching. Here's an interview with my friend, Bill Tabone, from the Australian Paranormal Society.
G'day, my name is Bill Tabone. I'm from the Australian Paranormal Society in Melbourne, Victoria. Along with my wife Amanda and my great team, we run paranormal investigations, research, we do house clearings, healings, etc. When people have attachments, and general research in all fields of the paranormal. In Australia here, obviously, we're a lot younger country than Europe, the Americas, etc., Asia. So our historical buildings are usually max around 200 odd years old. Having said that, we still have a lot of very active and historical buildings, including asylums, old jails, government buildings, etc., houses, etc. So what we do is we're running research in all fields of hauntings, etc. But we also cover, UFOs, cryptozoology, anything to do with physical research or psychic research that we can get our hands on and have a go at. We're very open to working with other groups and helping other groups. As in any country, any organisations, or want of a better word, culture, there's always going to be clashes between people. The big thing with us is that we show respect to each other and with other groups. In Australia here, there's a growing paranormal community. As I said, any community will have their differences. We don't have to believe what other groups believe. They don't have to believe what we believe. They don't have to agree with our findings. We're open for debate. We'll discuss their findings or our findings with anyone, as long as there's respect. And that's a big thing that we look for. We've worked very hard. We've been in this field for 20 years, my wife and myself. We've built a group. The group includes students, general labourers, writers, well-known published writers, hospital workers. Myself, I work in construction, and this is our love job. This is what we do because we are passionate about the paranormal. With Australia, we have long distances. Our communities are far spread. We do a lot of work within Australia, within Victoria, which is our state, but we consult for groups all over the world, or people all over the world. My wife especially, Amanda, she's a great networker. We believe in building networks, building friendships with people, and we've met some great people in this field. People that are so willing to talk to you and discuss different things, so open, and friends. Friends that I call friends that closer than people I've known for my lifetime, because they're loyal, and you see their loyalty in their actions. We always say, judge a person by what they do, not what they are. So, now with our research, we try to obviously take as much evidence as we can, or get as much evidence as we can gather for analysis. So we, as everyone, we have all different sorts of equipment. Everything from infrareds, ultraviolets, full spectrum, multi-spectrums, different sorts of sound devices, different sorts of meters, smell meters, everything along those lines. We have shadow detectors, movement detectors, sensor to sensors, etc. What most paranormal or large paranormal groups will have. But the way we work is we work very much on technical, but we balance that with an esoteric side, with the mediums and sensitives. A lot of my group have sensitive abilities. Rick is a medium, Emily is a sensitive, Amanda is a sensitive, Will is a sensitive, Lionel is a sensitive. Then there's the others. There's the more leaning towards the technical side of things. Tony, Jeff, Dawn Dawn's a sensitive as well, actually, to be honest, and myself. So we try to balance what we find with what the mediums and sensitives pick up with evidence. For example, we receive an EVP from someone we've got an EVP from someone called John, whereas Rick might have come up with a person called John in the same place. We try to find out who that is. We try to get surnames. That's everyone. So we try to match the details of the esoteric with the technical or the solid evidence. We try to get as many points of evidence. We call them points of evidence. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we've had a medium say something, the K2 or the Mel meter or one of the meters has gone off with an EVP, maybe with a light anomaly, all at the same time, you're starting to build a case whether you have activity. You can tell there's activity. Now, as I always get back to, what I'll get back to is the distance. we work a lot in Victoria. Physically, we go to places, etc. We've been interstate. For example, one of our asylums that we work a lot at is, from where I live, 3 to 4 hour drive one way. So, we have an 8 hour round trip. Usually we go there and we spend not just overnight, but we'll spend 2 nights, 3 days, etc. So we'll spend a lot of time at these places. So there's great distances involved. The way we fund ourselves is a lot of time out of our own pockets. But we also run workshops to teach the public, preach the gospel, as they say, as we say as a joke, teach them that we're normal people conducting scientific research, or as scientific as we can get, in a field that's really very much unknown but establishing itself. We conduct overnight investigations, and what these do is these give people a chance to experience what it's like to be a paranormal investigator. There are new teams coming up, new people getting into the field, interested in the field. We would rather teach them how to conduct themselves or how to conduct their investigations, rather than to try and possibly get hurt, break the law, etc. If you're a new paranormal investigator, and as teenagers we've all done it before, experience walking through, jumping a fence into a maybe abandoned house or a cemetery. These days we can't do that. These days a paranormal investigator needs to follow correct procedures, get permission to enter any place, etc. Breaking an entry is not an option for us. And anyone that does and gets caught obviously will bring the whole paranormal field into disrepute. We don't want that. So, that's Australia. We have a lot of distance to travel, and I'm sure, there's obviously all countries do, but that's our population is very spread out. Now, in regards to other groups, as I said, we try to help out as much as we can. We try to learn. We're always open to learning new things, because once you obviously you don't want to learn, you might as well pack up, because you're going to go stagnant and you're going to perish. Constantly learning. We've come up against a lot of really bad cases, nasty cases, where people have been physically hurt. This is in Australia, as I said. It's quite a young country, but you also have to remember it was it was a new colony when it first started. People were spread out into places where there was no law, so you don't know what happened in these places where people are building houses, and new houses are being infested, or for want of a better word, with paranormal activity. In one case we had a lady who ended up having, her house was built in a housing estate. The whole estate was experiencing activity. I actually had a sister who lived there originally when the place first was established, the actual housing estate was established, and she was experiencing activity. Now, where her house was built, it was built on the site of where a blacksmith shop and barns and sheds, etc. were, for a homestead. Now, the owner of the homestead, after research, wasn't very nice, etc. He'd done some pretty nasty things to the people who worked for him and things. Now, once we'd done research, we actually were able to get EVPs of 7 different spirits. And the lady that called us in, what we've done is we found out that there was actually 7 spirits that were harassing this lady. 3 women, 4 men. EVPs were constant and aggressive, threatening, etc. And basically the situation is, we're really in a very bad case. But that's a new house. That house was maybe 20 years old. So in Australia, we're looking at a lot of cases where land is has these problems. Now, what we're going to do, I invite anyone who comes to Australia from all over the world to contact us. We have workshops, we have locations we can take you. It's great to meet new people in the field, good people, and Australian Paranormal Society is welcome. Will welcome anyone with respect. So join us. Come to Australia. We invite you. Look us up on Facebook, Australian Paranormal Society. If you need to, once you're on there, you'll get our emails, phone numbers, etc. And thank you for having me on this excellent program. And we look forward to dealing with all you wonderful people in the future. Blessings.
That was cool, wasn't it? My friend down under handling his business and his team's business one investigation at a time, taking care of things the right way. And it's really cool to see that people all over the world are taking the paranormal very seriously. This next interview is with my friend Marcus and Brigida from PIR Germany. Very cool group of people. And Marcus and I have been friends for a long time now. He's really good people. Totally down to earth, very realistic, and a great guy. Brigida happens to be his fiance. They met doing paranormal research together, and they just have a fantastic time. They're a really cute couple. I really hope you enjoy some of the questions that I threw at them and get something from this interview with them. They're very neat, and I hope you enjoy.
What was your first encounter with the paranormal?
When I was a child, I had an encounter with shadow people in my bedroom, and this apparition frightened me very, very much. But some years later, I was thinking about it all the time, and I was very curious what this apparition could be. And this is why I am interested in the paranormal.
My reason for the interest for the paranormal was I began to hear noises and voices in my childhood, and I just don't can explain it. I mean, I was a child. It was, I think something is not normal for me, and the problem was I can speak with my family about this, and this makes me very sad. And this was the reason why I want to understand more about the paranormal world. And I'm sure it's more about that we know in this world.
In my childhood, I was also very interested in ghost stories and other things about paranormal, and this is all the time. I don't know how can I explain it. It was in my blood to know what is behind the paranormal. What is the reason why we see things or we hear things we can't explain. And for this reason, we want to investigate and research all these things.
Why did you decide to form a team?
We decided to form our own team because we want to know for our own what happens in the paranormal. We want to investigate, we want to research all the phenomena, and the important thing is we also want to stay independent from other groups, especially from other German groups.
Oh yes.
Because we don't want to listen to them. We want our own experiences. We want to learn for ourselves what happens out there, what happens if there are strange things or strange apparitions, and this is our own decision that we want our own team.
Because it exists more in this world that we can see, and we want to find answers.
What is your most frequent claim by clients?
The most claims are that they hear strange noises in the night, or they believe to hear voices from the dark, and
Different smell.
knocking sounds, and
Many things they don't can explain, and they hear it and they smell or voices or noises. It's very different.
sometimes they claim that they saw strange apparitions or
Shadow figure.
and these are the most claims our clients have.
It's very different.
Are you able to get your clients' claims resolved, or are you able to refer them to get the help that they need?
For us, it is very important to respect the clients, and this is for us very, very important, that we go to the clients, that we speak with them, that we hear what they want to tell us, and this is very, very important for us.
In the most cases, we find rational explanations for all the claims they have. Sometimes, if we are not able to find a rational explanation, then we have the opportunity to send our clients to a counseling center for paranormal, because they are very helpful, and we think we for ourselves can't stop all the paranormal things which happened, but the counseling center for the paranormal here in Germany, they can help the people, but we also help our clients. We phone to them, we are listening to them, and we will always be there for our clients.
And I think many groups here in Germany, especially here in Germany, they don't show their respect to the clients, and this is not good. It's and the clients, they can feel that. Yeah.
And this is what we want. We want to help our clients. We believe them. It doesn't matter if they are only have hallucinations, or there's only the imagination or whatever. We believe them, and we really try to help our clients.
This is very, very important for us. And we must don't forget, they come to us all and they need help. And we don't must forget, it can happen for everyone. I mean, this is very important. The people need help, and the people need people. They can listening, they can speak with them. They know, okay, you need maybe help. We are here. We are there for you. Yeah. You are don't alone in this, you know.
Do you get many claims of possession? And if so, do you feel that the client may be suffering from some other problems, such as mental disorders or hallucinations?
Until this day, we have no claims of possession or any other things in this direction. But if we got some clients, or if we get some clients who claim that they are possessed or whatever, the first thing we do, we speak to them and we try to figure out if they are maybe distressed, or if they take medicines, or if they maybe are mentally ill or whatever. This is what is very, very important to figure out first before
Oh yes.
we start an investigation.
Many people tells very fast, oh yeah, this is a very big possession and this is a demon here and all is demon, and this is too fast. We must figure out about the illness, about the medication maybe that people take or other things, and this is very sensitive. I think this is very sensitive with the possession. But we are very interested in this. We are very interested in this. To learn more about this.
But very important thing is everything the clients tell us, this is very confidential.
Oh yes.
Nothing gets out and nobody will hear about what our clients speak to us. And this is very important for us. Everything is very confidential.
And I think for many people, when they are in this, for the people, this is not so simple to talk about this one. I mean, they need many power to talk about this, to open his mind for all this and to speak with me or with another people. I mean, they are not from the family. Yeah.
Do you feel religion plays a part in paranormal investigations, or do you and your team take a more scientific approach?
We as a team, we take a more scientific approach, but sometimes we also use unconventional methods to get some reactions from whatever we will see or find or experience. I think religion can be very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
In some cases. Of course, we don't know which case can be dangerous or which case is not dangerous. We are very carefully about religion things or religious things. This is the reason why we are more for the scientific way.
And we don't like provocation, and I also don't like provocation. We want to show many respect from us, and we don't like to make provocation. And I think this is going with the religions, and this way is going a little bit in the provocation maybe, and we don't know, and we don't prefer provocation. We are very
We don't use any crosses or
no.
or other religious things.
We are careful, very careful about this. Because we don't know what happens, and we don't like to make provocation. For us it's important to show our respect to the spirit world every time.
If religious rites are utilized, do you feel that they create resolve, or do you think they actually increase activity in time?
We think that religious rites can increase paranormal activities, and this is the reason why we never use religious rites, or we never use crosses or holy water, because we want to find a rational explanation for all the phenomena the clients claim, and we believe that in some cases religious rites can increase all the phenomena, and this is what we want to avoid.
We don't use religion things because we think this is very, very provoked when we come in a house or in a place and we use maybe and we want to use religion things. I think especially, we all think especially, this is not good, and this is going to be very provoked.
And our goal is that our clients can live in peace without all disturbances or without all these phenomena, and why we should increase such phenomena when we want to decrease it.
Yeah. This is to use religion things. This is very provoking, I think. I don't like this one, never. Because we want every time show our respect.
Do you feel the equipment utilized for paranormal investigations is useful, or do you feel there could be more useful devices created?
Sure, we think, we believe that all the devices we use are helpful, or they can be helpful. And on the other side, we also think that there can be created more other special devices, especially with a multifunctional device, because all the devices we now use are not created for the investigation and the research of the paranormal, but all the devices we now use can help us to find a rational explanation, or maybe some things we can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the future it is very necessary that more devices should be invented, especially multifunctional devices.
And we are very interested in our new equipments every time.
Yes.
Oh yes, very, very much.
Do you feel that being a paranormal investigator and researcher brings happiness, or does it create life problems?
Oh no, for us it don't bring problems. For us brings happiness. I mean, we found us about the paranormal world. Yeah, and this brings very, very happiness in our life.
And this is what we love to do.
Yes.
We love this, what we do. We love to research and investigate the paranormal. But also I think that in our normal life it can create some problems, because we can't talk about the paranormal with our colleagues in our job, or with our
Family
relatives,
member.
family members,
Some
or,
family
or
members,
friends.
Yeah, or some friends. Yeah. And especially here in Germany, it's not so simple to talk about the paranormal world. They are very closed about this, and they close their eyes, many people. And the paranormal groups here are very different, and we don't want this, how the German paranormal group, this, no.
Some are not open-minded, but for us to be an investigator or a researcher, it means happiness, it brings happiness, and we are proud to be an investigator or a researcher.
Oh yes, very, very much. We are very thankful for this. Every day.
Even if we can't talk about this with the most people. But never mind.
We can every time talk about this.
Do you feel that paranormal investigation and research is accepted more or less in Europe and in Germany?
I think paranormal investigation, especially in Germany, is very, very difficult because this field, the paranormal, get no recognition from the public because the most people are smiling about the paranormal. They say, oh, it doesn't exist, it's only imagination, or they say the paranormal doesn't exist.
They don't show their respect, and they don't show their respect to old places, very old cemeteries, houses, castles.
Of course, here in Germany, many TV shows or newspapers or radio shows are talking about the paranormal. They talk with other paranormal groups, but I believe in reality they are only smiling about the paranormal investigation. They say that these people who are paranormal investigators or paranormal researchers, these people are only a little bit crazy. Not crazy in what we think about craziness, but they say they are a little bit silly, and this is a difficulty in Germany. I think in other countries like France,
England,
Scotland, the USA, the people in these countries are open-minded,
very.
but not in Germany. I think it's a long way to tell the public that the paranormal is part of our life and that the paranormal exists and that we must or we can live with it.
I think it's not the right way how here in Germany that many people close their eyes and that they say, oh, the paranormal world, they don't exist. But I'm sure it exists more that we all know. And it's for me a little bit sad that the people are so thinking about this one here, so very sad about this. For me it's too very sad. I mean, we was in England, and it's a very different feeling when I talk with the people about this, and I feel their heart is open for this, and they listening to me, and they don't think that we are or I'm crazy, and I like this feeling very much. But I hope that maybe in the future the people open more their eyes for this one. I hope. We hope.
Do you feel that paranormal TV shows help or hurt the paranormal community?
I believe that paranormal TV shows can be helpful, but the problem will begin at this point when these groups start to fake their evidence, or they start to fake any phenomenons, and this is the point where paranormal TV shows can be very useless for the paranormal community.
We don't like when we heard that, oh, this TV show have made faked, and that they telling the people, no, we don't use faking. Oh, we make all right. We don't like faking. It's not good, especially in the TV shows. I mean, this seen all people in the world, and they think, oh, this is true.
The problem is that when these paranormal groups get their own TV show or whatever, they are dependent from the TV channel. And they get their money from the TV channel, and the problem is that they must do what the TV channel and the producer tell them. And there's a problem. And yes, the problem.
But don't understand us wrong. We don't want to talk about the TV shows bad. This is just what we think about this. And I think also that it exists many interesting TV shows that maybe can help another paranormal investigators to learn more about the equipments, or to use some other things.
Or how they act, or how they perform their investigation. In my opinion, it's the best thing is that these paranormal groups should stay independent from anybody. At this point where these groups are dependent from TV shows or their producers, then the danger is that these shows are not helpful for the paranormal community. And this is the thing why these groups should be very, very careful.
Oh yes, every time.
Has your team's caseload increased or decreased in the past 5 years?
Our caseloads increased in the past 5 years because we traveled to so many places, we performed so many investigations. Okay, in some cases we don't report about our investigations because the clients don't wish that we publish our reports, and we can understand that because we already told you that we are very confidential.
We respected this.
And we respected, yes. But we are very happy that we have so many places we want to go and where we can go, and we know that are so many other places, they wait for us, and we are very looking forward to visit these places.
Oh yeah, very looking forward.
Sure, we can't perform paranormal investigations so often because we both has jobs,
Yeah.
and these jobs are very important for us because
Yes.
we need to earn our money. But we can talk together and we can look when we have the time for our investigations, and if we have the time we will perform our investigations at these places we talk about. And in our holiday we travel to our other countries,
Yes.
and we will investigate in these places.
We like this very much. And every place is for us a very special place. And we enjoy it very much.
And I think in the future we will more traveling to
Yeah.
other countries to investigate there.
Oh yeah. In all the world exist special places for us to see.
And I think they are waiting for us.
Oh yeah. We can't wait.
What is your most notable case or paranormal experience?
The most notable experiences we made in England, where we have some investigations, but the most experience we had in the famous poltergeist house in Pontefract. It's a small town in England, and this, what we experienced in this house, is very unique for us. We never experienced such things, and we are happy about our experience we made in this house.
This is very, very special for us and very, very amazing for us.
The most places we investigate, we have no experiences because these places were very quiet, and okay, sometimes we had special feelings, but we never made any experiences. But in this special case in England we made so many experiences, and we are happy that we made this.
And we are very thankful. Very, very thankful for this. Very, very thankful for the experiences and for all. For us is Pontefract a very, very special place. And I think this is forever. This will stay forever in our hearts.
Do you feel there's any particular investigation method that should be more widely used, and why?
I believe that every single group around the world should have their own method to perform their investigations, because we must see that every single investigation method is like a piece of a puzzle, and all pieces together creates the whole image of this what we are looking for. This is the reason why I think that every single group should have their own investigation method. In my opinion, if all the groups have the same investigation method, it is not so helpful for us, because in this case we would never get all these informations we are looking for. But if every group around the world perform their investigation with their own method, then we can get more information, we can get more evidence or pictures or whatever we are looking for. And this is especially in the paranormal field, very, very important that we get so many information we can.
And I think this is good when the paranormal team's working different. I mean, we all search the same, and we all search to find one day answers. And this is good when we're all working different, and we learn every day more and more about this. Every day we're learning, every day, is my opinion. And this is very important, that we know that we are learning every day and every time, that we are not thinking, okay, I am a special ghost hunter, I know all the things, I know all about this. I think for us it's very important to learn more about this every day, about the equipments, about everything. And every day we like it to learn more about this and to understand more about this.
And I believe that no group can say from their own that their way to investigate is the right way and the other ways are wrong.
No.
There is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
We only can learn and we only can get the information if we have our own method. We can do so many things, we can try a lot, and this is very, very important that we try everything we can to learn about the paranormal.
Yes. Every day. And it's very important, we must forget to show our respect, and that we learn every day, and that we all just search the same, and that we all want to find some answers together.
If you could investigate anywhere in the world, where would you be interested to investigate, and why?
There are so much places
yes.
around the world. I think it's very, very difficult to answer this question, because every place around the world is very interesting for us, and we really are interested to investigate there. So we can't say for sure which place is the most interesting place for us, because every place is interesting for us, and we can't say which place we would investigate. If we could, we would investigate at all places around the world.
Yes, every country have very special places for us, and we want to see in the future all these places.
And we hope we can investigate in so many places we can.
Oh yeah.
If we have the money, if we have the time, then we will do it.
Oh yes, we want. And we're very looking forward to see all the nice places in the world.
I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Real Paranormal Television. Thanks again for joining me, and thanks so much for checking out these interviews with my cool friends from around the world.
Paranormal Television.
Copy that.